I've been going to Disneyland pretty much all my life. My passion for Disneyland really developed because when I was 11, my older brother, was diagnosed with cancer, and Disneyland kind of became the symbol to me of like a world where I didn't really have to think about it or deal with it. The weekend before my graduation, I woke up on Sunday, and I was graduating on Thursday, and I thought to myself, this is the last week I'm going to have in high school, and from here on out it's going to be kind of transitioning into being on my own. And that meant a lot of things to me. For one thing, my brother didn't live to see his graduation, and it was kind of scaring me that I, the little sister, was going to, and that in a month I would be turning 18, and he died when he was 17, and that I would be officially older than him, which is a really strange concept. And I just kind of thought I need to do something today before I graduate, just to kind of make it a bit easier to move on and kind of do something fun and spontaneous and just a little adventure. So at breakfast I brought up to my parents, hey, you guys just got me my premium annual pass. It's a Sunday. Can I go to Disneyland? And finally, my dad was all for it, and finally my mom caved. And for the first time, I made a long drive by myself up to Anaheim to go to Disneyland. I went into the park, and this was the first time in my life I've ever been to the park alone. And it was kind of strange for me because I realized upon getting there that people don't really go to the park alone. And it's really this sort of shared experience with your family or your friends or your boyfriend or girlfriend or husband or wife or whatever. And that's all fine, but there actually is some beauty to being at Disneyland by yourself. And I got myself some ice cream, and I walked down Main Street, and I sat by the partner statue and just people watched, and just didn't really think about much except that this was going to be a part of my future, that I was graduating on Thursday. And then as I was sitting there, those thoughts became a bit more daunting. Like, it went from being like, I'm graduating, to, oh my god, I'm graduating. And that was, for the most part, really exciting for me, but also a little bit tragic, because I just couldn't fathom the thought that I was going to get to do this and have my entire life ahead of me, where I can go to college and I can meet new people and date and get married and have a job and a future. All these things that my brother will never have, and all these things that I expected him to have and expected to share with him. And that was starting to really overwhelm me. So I actually teared up a lot. I took a few moments to just kind of compose myself. I was like, I'm at the happiest place on earth. And, I feel such a great connection to this place. This place has always meant a lot to me and my brother. And that's all okay, but, you need to be okay today. So I decided to just kind of compose myself and go meet the princesses. And so I got in line, and when I got to the front of the line, I saw that it was Ariel was one of the princesses out greeting, and I was super excited because I might have been at that time 17, but I am forever and ever a 5-year-old, and so I was really, really excited to see her. But when I went up to her, she looked at me and she said, "Is something wrong?" And she took my hands in hers, and I said, "I'm fine." And she said, "No, did something happen? Do you want to talk about it?" And so I did, and I ended up talking to her about what was going on with me that day, and what brought me there, and just all the things I was going through. And she was supportive throughout everything I said. She gave me advice. She told me things like how, I don't need to worry about feeling guilty for having a future when my brother doesn't, because she just knew that he was proud of me, and to just look at my smile and look at my kindness, he clearly has loved you and does love you, and that's nothing to cry about. And I'll never forget those words. The fact that somebody who is just doing their job went out of their way to say something like that to me, I'll never forget it. And amazingly enough, it was probably close to 8 months before I ran into that particular Ariel again, but she remembered me, and she still remembers me, even though I've only seen her a couple times since. And the fact that she is able to have impacted me in that way, I can't even put into words how much that meant to me, and just how much that resonates with my passion for Disneyland and what I love about Disneyland and what Disneyland has done for me. As my favorite princess, as my favorite character. As a little girl, I always aspired to be like Ariel and be Ariel, and today I just want to be Ariel. The fact that it was her and not Cinderella or Sleeping Beauty to give me these words and to go out of her way to make sure that I was doing all right, I'll never forget it.